I was teaching at University of New Mexico, and a friend of mine that worked there was also in 423, and he asked me to go be a carpenter on Red Dawn. And I went up and became a carpenter on Red Dawn, and that's kind of how it started. It was the coldest winter I've ever spent in my life, and one of the members had gotten a brand new pair of fleece-lined gloves, and he had walked out with the DP, and we were outside at a drive-in theater, and he said, let's start pulling this cable out of here. The guy put his hand on the tower to pull it down, and when he pulled his hand back, it just kind of tore the whole inside of the glove out. And they said, that's it, we're going home, guys. Primarily the jobs that I have been in the art department is I've been a prop master, weapons master, and a decorator. I think the last time I figured it up a few years back, I think I worked on about 50 films and 9 or 10 TV series. Yeah, hardest job I've ever done on a set. It's kind of tough to say. I really don't know. Things I did not want to do maybe in hard. When we were doing City Slickers, and Billy Crystal sticks his hand in the cow, loses his wristwatch. Well, I'm in the cow and I take the watch off his hand, so all that goo and mess, and I shoved the calf out of it, so I was inside of there for that. But it wasn't hard, it was just kind of goofy and messy. I've been involved with union work for the motion pictures and theater since 1981. And then in 1988, I helped start 480, which is the Studio Mechanics or Motion Picture Local here in New Mexico. We just petitioned the International to see if we could get a Studio Mechanics Local, and to our surprise, they gave us one, and we wound up being, I believe, the 3rd Studio Mechanics Local chartered. We started with about 70 or 80 people. Now it's up to about 1,100, 1,200 people. There's a lot of creative guys that come up, and I met Michael on Longest Yard. When Michael was working with me on Probably Believe in Me, he asked me, so how do you know what department does what sometimes? Because there's a fine line between certain things. And I said, well, if you kind of compare it to horse manure, if you look at it this way, it's if it's steaming, it's effects. If you have to move it, it's set deck. If you play with it, it's props. And if it just lays there, well, it's craft service or grip. So whatever it was just and he took that to heart. I guess when I retire from this, and the things that I'll take with it is remembering the people that I've met. It's a small community, even though it's a large business, and there's a lot of really good people in it, and that's what I'm going to miss.